Hello and welcome to the Fix Your Fatigue podcast. Whether you can't get out of bed in the morning, your energy crashes throughout the day, or you're a biohacker looking to optimize your energy, productivity, and focus, this podcast is for you. I am Dr. Evan Hirsch, and I will be your host on your journey to resolving fatigue and optimizing your energy. And we'll be interviewing some of the top leaders in the world on fatigue resolution. Welcome. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode on the Fix Your Fatigue podcast. I'm so glad you're here with me today, because today we're going to be talking with my friend, Dr. Louise Swartzwalter. So for over 20 years, Dr. Louise has been helping transform lives individually and in groups using a unique multidimensional approach, including naturopathy, biofeedback, trauma release work, NLP or neuro-linguistic programming, life coaching, and energy work. Louise is the owner and founder of the Brain Soul Success Academy and the creator of the Brain System, a 5-step transformational brain program serving clients worldwide. She teaches professionals, entrepreneurs, and coaches how to clear energetic blocks to remain balanced, focused, and retrain their mind to make a bigger impact. Using a combination of tools, Louise has helped people move from anxiety to calm in one session. Dr. Louise's unique multidimensional approach has helped thousands of clients the last 20 years reach success in their lives. One client told her that one session felt like 16 years of therapy, while another said, "She saved my life." Dr. Louise enjoys speaking and teaching globally and has shared with audiences on KOB TV, Good Day New Mexico, KOB Radio, events and professional organizations, both in person and online. Dr. Louise, thank you so much for being with me today.
What a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Evan. This is great. This is awesome.
I really appreciate it. So we're going to be talking today about reboost your brain and reclaim your energy. And everybody stay tuned because we've got some great gifts at the end of this. So let's start off with your story of fatigue and how you became interested in brain health.
Yeah, absolutely. So I crashed. I had the labels of chronic fatigue, MS, fibromyalgia. They really just didn't know. So this is back over 25 years ago, and I ended up on that path of just doctor hopping and trying to find out what was wrong with me. At the time, my brain didn't work. I actually had my phone number written on a sticky note in my wallet. So I didn't have a memory. And yet what's interesting about that is prior to crashing, I was a special education teacher. And so I was working with learning difference children, helping them learn to read, write, and spell, a lot of dyslexic, ADHD. And then I kind of became like the kids I taught. So I was like, okay, there's a message here in this. What does this mean, right? And so I was on this path of but I was really sick. Dr. Evan. I ended up on oxygen for 3 years. I was 89 pounds. I would go to sleep at 3 o'clock every afternoon. I had 2 small children at home. My husband would have to cook dinner. It was just a really difficult time. And I knew there were answers out there, but I just couldn't find them. So I ended up in the whole world of natural health and natural healing, and found a chiropractor that helped me, an osteopathic doctor that helped me. And I changed my diet, and I started to exercise, got filtered water, took all the chemicals out of my house. I was very chemically sensitive. So, and then I was so sensitive to heavy metals. So the reason I even crashed on a big level was my dentist said to me, what will help your fatigue is if we take your mercury fillings out. And I was like, he gave me a book to read on it. And I was like, all right, if we have to do that, let's go for it. Well, he did it all in one day. And so I was already weak to begin with. And I was like, I just was impatient, which is God's lesson to me is learning patience. And so I got them all out in one day. And I remember driving home from the dentist's office, and I felt like my brain was a little clearer. And I thought, maybe getting that mercury out was a good thing. I'm a little more clear-headed. This is good. And he gave me homeopathic remedies to clear the mercury out of my body. So he was trying to do the right thing, on the right track. But within 3 months, my fingertips were tingling. I couldn't be around anything electric.
Mm,
The sound of the refrigerator humming in my kitchen, I'd have to turn it off when I was in there.
mm,
I became allergic to just about every food, every chemical. And the biggest one was pesticides and herbicide because of all the mercury in them anyway, and
right.
the heavy metals contained in those chemicals. So I ended up on oxygen. And I remember just being really, really angry about the fact that I was researching all of this and saw so many children with asthma and wondered about the kids I even taught. I was teaching learning difference children, how much of their little bodies was also being affected by the
Mhm.
chemicals and the foods in our environment, that we were eating, the same as me. So I ended up becoming an activist. I worked with the mayor to sue the state of Illinois. They wanted to spray for mosquitoes over the entire state and
Mm,
take it out of local control hands.
mm,
And I knew the woman whose daughter died from mosquito abatement used at a Girl Scout camp. She actually lobbied, her name is June Larson. She lobbied Washington, D.C. to get the little signs that are put in lawns that say that the lawn was sprayed with glyphosate, which of course there's now lawsuits against. So even at that time, so we had 14 articles in the paper. I became this like teacher, angry housewife person on a mission to change the environment, to change the world and try to educate people on the dangers of chemicals and pesticides. And then one day I had enough. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm not going to live in my bathtub or go sleep in the car in the forest preserves. And I'm done. So I ended up moving to New Mexico where there's no lawn. It was all
ah,
sagebrush. It was all sagebrush. My adobe house up in Taos, New Mexico. And so it was kind of like the movie Little Miss Sunshine, if anyone's ever seen that movie. It was this road trip
uh-huh.
my family did, caravanning out here. And, it's been just like anything else. It's like it was God's plan or the gift, because the gift of having to go through that, is what helped me heal and change my life and all the work that, of course, I do with people now with brain. If I hadn't lost my own brain power, I wouldn't be doing this level of work.
Brilliant. So then
Yeah,
what was it? So just by moving, you got rid of all of those symptoms?
good question. No, it took some time. In fact, it took me 16 years.
Hmm.
So what really happened was I didn't have to do the oxygen as much when I moved out here because there weren't as many chemicals and it was cleaner air and I was 7,000 feet in the mountains.
Hmm.
So I knew when I researched, I was either going like to the mountains or the ocean or somewhere that was cleaner, a cleaner environment. And so I could breathe again, and I didn't have to do the oxygen. I could hike. I started exercising more and all that. But I did all switch to all my organic food and slowly added in different supplements that my body could tolerate. But I was so sensitive. I was sensitive to everything. So it
Hmm.
took time. It really took time to heal that immune system. And just like all of us, and I know you probably did this on your path too, we start with the physical body.
Right.
We change our diet, we take supplements, we start exercising, we get better sleep, all of that. And, that got me somewhere, but I still wasn't where I wanted to be. And so I kept seeking. And then I started writing the Grateful Journal and doing more of the mental work and the emotional work, and the spiritual work. And then I was introduced to energy work, biofeedback, energy work. So I started naturopathic school after I moved to Albuquerque. Actually, what I said to myself was, gosh, you know what? I know all this already. I should get the paper on the wall. Because I had to learn so much on my journey, right?
Right.
So, so I figured out that to really heal all the way, we had to do physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and the energetic field
Mhm.
simultaneously. And if it wasn't done simultaneously, and we did little pieces of the puzzle along the way, like I did, it takes too long.
Mhm.
So when I was working with children to help them read, write, and spell, it was actually a dyslexic therapy program. We did what you say with what you hear, with what you write, what you see, with what you feel.
Mm.
And they would jump 2 grade levels in reading in 6 months. It changed their brain. And I went, whoa, we're not doing this in healing. Why can't we combine and do a simultaneous program to change people's brains, brain, body, mind, spirit, if you will, and help people get healthy faster. So it's
Mhm.
always been my quest because it took me so long. And so when I started putting together my system, it actually just evolved into those steps. It's body, mind, spirit, but it's B is body. So we work with the body. It spells brain. R is releasing, releasing mental chatter, releasing the emotional baggage, releasing the trauma. We all have trauma and PTSD now from COVID on different levels for everybody, but it's still trauma, so we have to release that. And then A is aligned with spirit. Spirit is always a part of healing, whatever you believe, whatever your God is to you. I is integrating your brain frequencies to your soul's true purpose. So I know that when we have purpose, we heal. When there's no purpose, it's harder to get healthy all the way.
Mhm.
And then N is putting in the new program. And the new program is, how do you want to show up now in the world? So there's a lot of techniques and work out there that will do releasing, but they forget the new program. So I reprogram the brain with codes for success. It's numbers. You can reprogram the brain with hypnotherapy. You can reprogram the brain with biofeedback. And so I combined it all.
Wow. And so then what does that look like? Is that utilizing a machine? Is that something that, yeah, how do you do that reprogramming?
Yeah, the reprogram piece is it's energy work in the field, and it's codes and numbers. And so think of it, instead of acupuncture points on your body, they're spin points or energy points in the energy field. So like your brain actually has an energy field around it. You have a field of energy around you. We're energetic beings. And your brain, if you picture an atom with the rings around it, you have capacitor rings around your brain. And when they're off or wobbly, you won't feel balanced, and you'll have brain fog, you'll have fatigue, you'll have memory issues, you might have sleep problems. So we have to get that back balanced. So what I found is, all the great, and I have them, I sell them, great brain supplements, and eating for your brain and your body, and, treating your body well and nurturing yourself. That's all good. But if we don't clear the patterns in the field of those brain rings, you won't be what I call 100% you.
Interesting. So that's BRAIN. This is the brain system that you talk about.
Right.
So body, releasing, align, integrating, and then new program.
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
Yes.
Can you take us into each one of those a little bit more deeply?
Yeah, absolutely. So the body piece is eating healthy, eating organic foods without pesticides and herbicides on them, taking good supplements, the supplements that are right for you, finding, again, a functional medicine, a kinesiologist, your chiropractor, practitioner that can help you with that. It's the piece about exercise, making sure that you're exercising, you're moving your body, you're getting good sleep. The very first simple piece of body would be drink half your weight in ounces of water a day. Most of us are dehydrated, and then of course getting healthy fats in for your brain, whether it's coconut oil, avocado, banana. So all of those pieces. I also do like a lot of allergy treatments too, treating for allergies, whether it's a food allergy, whether it's a chemical allergy, whether it's a pollen or a tree, or grass. So we want to get you back balanced, and balancing that nervous system. The parasympathetic, sympathetic nervous system gets off balance when we've had trauma, when we're stressed out, when we're eating poor foods or drinking alcohol. So it's about keeping that body in line.
Brilliant. And so then what does it look like to release these negative emotions or release this trauma?
Yeah, so there's like about 10 different tools that I teach. One of them is called brain soul balancing, where we put your goal or intention in a box, And I'm like a medical intuitive. I'm able to muscle test if there was a trauma at age 6 or something in the womb, or a great-great-grandpa's thing, or you were beat up in 6th grade on the playground, whatever it is. We have to clear that trauma, because the trauma in the brain actually causes a lesion. It's based on Dr. Hamer's work. He was a German doctor that discovered that trauma can cause illness. His story was his son was shot at age 17 and died, and 3 months later he ended up with testicular cancer. And he said to himself, I was perfectly healthy before. Why did I get this illness? It must be the trauma of losing my son. So he started working on clearing the trauma, and his cancer went away. He put whole charts together and actually did all kinds of research and SPECT scans of people's brains, and found that there'd be different places in the brain that the lesion would occur for different types of illness.
Wow.
And it was fascinating work. And so I figured out how to clear those. So I'm good at clearing trauma in the field. So even right now, if we say, hey, we want to be at peace and we want to be balanced. So for your whole audience to be at peace and balanced because of all the stuff going on on the planet still, and, and the confusion, the post-COVID syndrome, I'm calling it, we would just say, okay, what's the energy in the field there? And it's based on words, really. It's the power of the spoken word, of the truth will set you free. You could say, well, gosh, the energy in the field is pain. And I'm muscle testing here. It's devastated. It's burdened, it's powerless, it's uncertain, it's loss, it's grief. What else is it? Anxiety, lack of control. So then we'd say all that energy that's in the energy field from sort of this post-COVID syndrome, is it a liar, a thief, or a fraud on our peace and our balance? And I get that it's a fraud, meaning it's not our soul's truth. And then I say, did it kill, steal, or destroy something? Well, it destroyed something. What did it destroy? Well, for our group here, for you and for the audience, it destroyed peace, freedom, ease, trust, protection, and gratitude. So when I say that, those actually came from John 10:10 in the Bible. They clear the soul level of the brain. So what I'll watch is if we really do like layers of this, that's where we can take someone who's had anxiety and in one session it's gone, because we've cleared the core issue or the core trauma. It seems so simple, and it is, but it's just identifying it. It's going to those core places.
It's a little bit of a shortcut.
It is.
Instead of having to work on your trauma for years and years and years.
Yeah, why not? I mean, I was always looking for ways to make it faster.
Oh, I'm a fan.
Because it took me so long. I was like, no, we have to help people faster. Yeah.
So did you find that with your fatigue that utilizing these techniques that you were learning really was like the biggest needle mover for you?
Absolutely. But it was the whole system, so like I said, I started with body and I was better, but I still had this inkling or this little feeling like I wasn't really me yet. I wasn't really 100%. And then when I started doing the emotional work and the mental work and, the positive attitude and all of that, it certainly did help, but I still wasn't where I wanted to be. And then when I started doing the energy work and clearing these past traumas and putting in a new program, and then coupling that with neurobiofeedback, I have more energy now than I did in my 20s, and I'm 63.
I love that. That's excellent. So we talked about body, we talked about releasing, aligning with spirit. Was that part of that process that we just did?
Yeah, because that's like a soul level in a sense, and it does go back, like I said, to John 10:10 in the Bible. Those words sound, and I couldn't use those words right away. They were negative to me. Liar, thief, fraud, kill, steal. No, that person didn't steal anything from me. No, I can't say they did that. And it was hard for me to do that in the beginning, and I just practiced it. And I realized that when we do that, we're actually clearing a deeper level for people that they didn't even know was buried there.
Interesting. And then the next one is integrating brain frequency to soul's true purpose. What does that look like? And then how do you help somebody find their purpose?
That's a great question. I think it's a different path for everyone. Again, what I do is I clear their traumas in their brain and in their soul, and they come back more into alignment. And then their purpose kind of shows up. So like I've taken people from 4 stomach surgeries, Mayo Clinic 4 times, to healing digestion, to within 3 years starting their own business, and they're on their dime and they're doing their own thing.
Brilliant. That's great. And then the new program, how you want to show up in the world, and what does that look like?
The new program is based on some energy work that I do. There's several ways to do it, but one of my favorite ways to put in the new program would be to come up with a goal or intention and do what we call an integration. We're integrating the new program in your biocomputer. So your brain is like a computer, and we can reprogram it. So and think about athletes. Athletes do this all the time, right? They set a goal. Okay, they're a high jumper. They set a goal and they go, all right, I'm gonna jump this high, and they achieve that, and now they got to raise that bar, right? So now they're teaching their brain that they can do it. So they're gaining confidence. They're saying, I did that, and now I have to go for my next goal, my next step. Maybe they're Olympic bound, and so they raise that bar, and now let's say they're a high jumper. They're going to jump that level. So we teach the brain how to do that. So that's part of it, is setting those goals that are both enough far reaching but attainable. That you're teaching your brain that it's good and you can do this and you're confident. And then the integration piece is actually clears 7 generations back and 7 forward of any traumas by using numbers and codes. So I could probably demonstrate. It's going to look woo-woo to some of your people. I'll just say that, because it does. It did to me too when I first learned this. But what was happening was they were clearing someone who had a car accident and was hurt in a car accident. And I watched their face change in front of me. And I was like, how do they do that with just these numbers and these codes? So I was intrigued. And I stayed for the rest of the class. And then I went, well, it doesn't hurt to practice this. I might as well try it. And so that's how it really started. We could start with a goal or intention that you have. So the question I would ask is, what would you want to have change or be different?
In my life?
Yeah, in your life.
I would like to be able to prioritize my own health. I would like it to be easier for me to prioritize my own health.
Okay. So if it is easier for you to prioritize your own health, what would you be doing then you're not doing now?
Instead of rebounding every other day, I would be rebounding every day. Instead of walking every other day, I'd be walking every day. So my wife tells me that I'm very disciplined, but I would like to be a little bit more so, where instead of thinking so much about work and having a big impact on the world and helping 1 million people resolve their fatigue, I'd like to make sure that I am prioritizing the time that I need to do the things that I love: singing, playing guitar, making sure that I'm doing those things every day.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm walking this goal down and using NLP questions, neuro-linguistic programming. So if it's easier for you to prioritize your own health, and you're rebounding and you're walking every day and you're singing and you're playing guitar, how would that make you feel?
Pretty great. Resilient, strong, happy. Anything's possible.
Nice. Great. So now what we can do is, should we take some energy out? No, let's just put it in. So what we can do is integrate those goals or those intentions into your energy field. So this is like putting in the new program. Okay, so we took out a little bit of the stuff from just maybe the COVID energy that was on our planet. We kind of released that a few minutes ago with that other little process. And This is how you want to show up in the world. And I'm sure that everyone out there is going to resonate with this too. We all need to prioritize our own self-care, right? So I'm going to have you say those. And then what I do is I muscle test them. Now, I don't know how many people on the call are familiar with muscle testing. Should I describe that, do you think?
Please.
Okay, so kinesiologists, chiropractors, natural health professionals, even coaches, a lot of people use what we call muscle testing today. And the muscles of your body are connected to your nervous system. So we actually can use the strength of a muscle to get answers. And really what it's doing is it's tapping into your higher intuition as well. And so I muscle test like this, and I know some of you can't see this, we're on a podcast, but basically I'm using my pointer finger as if it was my arm. And so chiropractors will use your arm off and they'll have you put your arm out and they'll say, stay strong while I push gently down on your arm. And they're calibrating you. They're getting a yes and a no. So if they gently push down on your arm and you stay strong, and they'll say yes. So this is my yes. And then they'll say no. And my arm goes slightly weak or just down a little bit. That's a no. So we're basically getting a yes and a no. Well, when I was healing, I'd have to wait for my children to come home from school so I could use them as a surrogate, so I could use their arm. And then I said, no, I need to figure this out for myself. And I believe God helps those who help themselves. So I pretend my pointer finger is my arm, and I put my middle finger on top and I press down gently, and I get a yes, and I say, I'm going to hold it. So first I hold it, I get yes, and then no. And so it's just like using your arm when you're using one, your hand, one, couple fingers. So it allows my other hand to be open to go down like a list and check it. And I'm really fast with it. So for your goals, I'm going to muscle test you saying them.
Okay.
And then we're going to do these codes with numbers that change the brain rings around your brain so that this new program of having things be easier for you to prioritize your health will happen for you.
Brilliant.
Okay, so that's how we're going to do it. Okay, so we're just going to say, it is easier for me to prioritize my own health.
It is easier for me to prioritize my own health.
Okay, and I'm just muscle testing. And it should bring up stress, right? So it should go weak or just a little weaker. If it wasn't the right goal, we wouldn't, if it didn't test weak, we wouldn't need to integrate it. We wouldn't need to work on it. Okay. So then say I rebound and I walk every day.
I rebound and I walk every day.
Okay. I'm singing and I'm playing guitar.
I'm singing and I'm playing guitar.
I love that you sing and play guitar. I want to hear you now. Say I feel resilient.
I feel resilient.
Strong and happy.
Strong and happy.
Awesome. Say anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
Okay, so we just muscle tested that. And now I'm going to do these codes. So the first code's clear stress. So they clear stress and anxiety. And so I'm picturing your left leg, and I'm just going down your left leg, and I'm making circles, and I'm saying a number. So numbers are universal language. So numbers can reprogram. So my teacher again taught me these numbers. So it's 2, 3 love, 5, 3 forgiveness, 6, 5 choice, 9, 2 freedom, 4, 2 greater love. And the second part clears self-sabotage. So self-sabotage goes down the front of your body. So this is right on with your goal too. So the first code is just over a little bit above your chest, almost just below your Adam's apple there. We're going to say 4, 2, and then I'll have you say, I have positive self-worth.
I have positive self-worth.
And then I'm going a little farther down on your chest, over your heart. Say 2, 2, say, I choose to succeed.
I choose to succeed.
Good. And then 4, 4, say, I choose to live in joy.
I choose to live in joy.
Good. And 6, 2, I choose to live by the higher laws.
I choose to live by the higher laws.
Awesome. And then I'm going to do some extra codes on you. So it's going to go pretty fast. It's 147 on your back side, and it's actually balancing the brain from front to back. So it's this ring. Okay. And then I'm going to have you look at my X. And then I do the code. It's 4-5, and that balances the brain sideways. And then I'm going to do 9-6, and 9-6 is in your armpit. It's the consciousness ring. So it's a ring. And then 9-6 over the top of your head is the cranial ring. 8-6 over your ear, your left ear, is the hearing ring. 6-8 is on your left knee. It's the seeing ring. And then we're going to do the ring to all the rings. So we're basically balancing those rings in your brain. 3 to 9, 26 complete cycles, 5,859 times. Rubbing 2 to 8, 23 complete cycles, 2,363 times. That's the emotional vibration reset. Then we're going to do 3-7-5, which is the self ring, and 3-7-7 is the digestion ring. 4-5, 8-6, 4-6-9 language ring, 4-6-7 breathing, releasing any trauma. 10-5-7-8 starting on the right hip, now the left hip. 2-8-7-7-5, and then shock 1-2-3 is on your back cheek. Placing that all with peace, 5-2. 5 to 11-37 complete cycles, 87,357 times. 2 to 8, 24, 32 times. 4-2, 2-2, 4-4, 6-2. 6-7, 6-7, 6-7, 6-7, 7-7-2. Awesome. Okay.
Wow.
Yay. You felt that, didn't you?
I did. I'm kind of buzzing. I have chills.
You have chills?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome. So this is going to be good for you then. Then we'll ground you if we need to. So we're going to have you say it's easier to prioritize my own health.
It's easier to prioritize my own health.
Beautiful. And now you're strong. Okay, so I would, if you were with me, I'd be muscle testing your arm, but I'm doing it like this for purposes of long distance. And what I want to share with the audience is now you're strong. If I'm muscle testing you and I'm testing my muscles for Dr. Evan here, and after he made that statement, the first time he was weak, after we did all the codes, you're stronger. It means it's integrated. It means it's in your energy field and you felt the buzzing, you felt the confirmation. Mm-hmm. So say I rebound and I walk every day.
I rebound and I walk every day.
Awesome. Say I sing and I play guitar.
I sing and I play guitar.
Beautiful. I feel resilient.
I feel resilient.
Strong and happy.
Strong and happy.
Nice. Anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
And now you're strong on all of them. So, and you can feel that, can't you?
I can.
Isn't that just amazing? So we're reprogramming your brain and your body, really, your body, mind, spirit. Now what we want to do is lock it in. And the way that we lock that little process in is you put your hands above your head and clasp them together. And if I was there with you, I would be pulling down on them and you'd be resisting me. Okay? So it's kind of pretending like we're pulling down. And then I'm going to have you cone your fingers and make a circle in front of your heart and say 2-2.
2-2.
I choose to succeed.
I choose to succeed.
And then tap your belly button 8 times. And what we just did is reprogram your brain and lock in those goals of having it be easier. And then your homework obviously is rebounding and walking every day. So you'll have to call me and tell me how it's going.
Excellent.
Very cool. And you're going to see the video later. You changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Your face changed. We do before and after pictures to show people because they look lighter. It's like it de-stresses.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you so much for doing that, by the way.
You're welcome. You're
welcome. Such a great demonstration. And so then how many times does somebody need to do this?
Yeah, you know what? You can do it as many times as you want. So I call it a mini integration. I do it on myself a couple times a day often. You know, if I'm driving, I'm in the car, I even kind of do it in the car. So, and then I teach my people to use those tools too when they're stressed or they're going to go into an interview or, you're going to speak on stage or, you've got something big coming up or a big sporting event and you want to perform well. When you integrate, and there's also a tool called Mind Gems, which I want to give everybody. So like, you're not going to know those codes right away. You can learn them and I teach them, but it takes a little bit of time. But there are tools that we can use like now, to really help. And when I spoke about the brain rings, the rings around your brain, you can balance those rings of the brain with something called Mind Gems, which is handheld positions, 12 little handheld positions that balance those rings and help you focus and stay grounded, and stay kind of on your dime.
Brilliant. And so that's the free gift for our audience.
Yes.
So we'll put that link below this video or in the show notes for the podcast. And so where can people go to learn more about you?
So you can go to my website, louiseswartzwalter.com, and you'll find Mind Gems there as well. So on that website, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, so you'll find me there as well. And you can probably call the office for right now. And like I said, I'm looking forward to moving that actually, into selling my brick and mortar business now that my online business, I have so many people that I'm teaching the system to now, and it's gone global. That's just the direction of my life and my business right now. But my other website is abqnaturalhealthcenter.com. So I have two. And so that's my center. And then, like I said, I'm more online. But I love people, Dr. Evan. I love hanging like with you today. This is so cool. And and I love teaching. So I want to connect. So if you're out there, I just want to connect with you. I want to know you.
Yeah. Well, and you're really good at it too.
Thank you.
And so then what does it look like to work with you? It sounds like you've got the one-on-ones, which is like virtual over Zoom, kind of like what we did.
Yes.
Right, to help people work through the brain system, right? To reset a number of these things from an energetic perspective, which I find to be so amazing. And I'm actually going to talk to you after this about, how do we incorporate this more in our program? Because I do believe that we need to be treating on so many different levels of health, mind, body, spirit, energetics. And so I'm so pleased that you have this amazing program out there. So you've got the one-on-ones, and then you're also teaching people how to do this for others. You got a training program.
Yes, I have a training program. So it's a mastermind program, and that's a year-long program. And we're teaching the brain system, and so then I also have certified coaches who are learning the program, becoming certified in it, so they can work with their people on it. And so it's global, and it's just been really fun. I've probably taken maybe 45 to 50 people through this program in the last 5 years, and it's just been so rewarding. And my goal is to change 2 million brains by 2025.
I love that.
And we're doing it because we did 1 million by 2020. Because once I share it, then we just keeps like the fish in the sea kind of thing. So it's just about helping more people.
Excellent. So for those of you who are listening and watching, if you want to get this experience, if you want to transform and utilize this quote unquote shortcut to make things happen faster for you, I definitely recommend going to Dr. Louise's website and get on a free discovery call with her, right? You have those free discovery calls?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like a brain soul assessment. And so I like to talk with people and help them move some needles for themselves, like move ahead.
Right.
And then also find out if there's anything else I can help them with. We need to work further.
Brilliant. And we'll put that link below as well. Dr. Louise, thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, it was so awesome to be here. Thank you so much, Dr. Evan. You're such a great host. I'm so excited about the work you're doing too. And you're doing such great work in the world, and people need you. I mean, look at how many people are fatigued.
Yes.
And more so now than ever, right? Are you finding that?
It is, unfortunately. The more toxic the world becomes, the more people get fatigued. The human organism is just not made for this world sometimes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Hey, you're welcome. Thank you.
I hope you learned something on today's podcast. If you did, please share it with your friends and family and leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. It's really helpful for getting this information out to more fatigued people who desperately need it. Sharing all the experts I know and love, and the powerful tips I have on fatigue is one of my absolute favorite things to do. If you'd like more information, please sign up for my newsletter, where I share all important facts and information about fatigue, from the foods and supplements to the programs and products that I use personally and recommend to others so that they can live their best lives. Just go to fixyourfatigue.com/newsletter to sign up, and I will send you this great information. Thanks for being part of my community. Just a reminder, this podcast is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional care by a doctor or other qualified medical professional. It is provided with the understanding that it does not constitute medical or other professional advice or services. If you're looking for help with your fatigue, you can visit my website and work with us at fixyourfatigue.com. And remember, it's important that you have someone in your corner who is a credentialed healthcare professional to help you make changes. This is very important, especially when it comes to your health. Thanks for listening, and have an amazing day.